theyeshiva.net.
Good morning, everybody. 122, 8 lines from the top. We're at the words V'afmi. The line starts Ba'orein Sof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. 8 lines from the top. 122, the first column. Samach Aleph, column 3. On top it says Drushim L'Rosh Hashanah, middle of the Maimer, Keil, Kamocha. Holding after the period, Kanal V'afmi. V'afmi she'ein daita yofa kol kach. L'dofka boi machmas gdulas v'rememus ein sof baruch hu mamash. Even somebody, till now he was talking about somebody who's searching, who's questing for intimacy with the divine, which is beyond time, because there's some recognition of that truth. But even somebody that his das is not yafa, meaning his level of perception is not so refined to be able to experience connection or the desire for connection because of an appreciation of Gdulus V'Rememus Ein Sof Baruch Hu Mamash, of the truth, the exaltedness, the realness of Ein Sof Mamash, Rak. The motivation is something else. Shetzar loy mekoymai v'shaiter. He's being distressed by his place and his time. A very different experience. Huh? Yeah. It's not that I'm enthralled by truth. It's just that I'm not enthralled by what I have. It's distressing me, my place, my time. Shenimshach acher hevle hazman. He is being drawn after the vanities of the time. I never saw this expression before, so that's why I'm hesitating here.
Which expression?
It's an interesting expression. I'm just looking if they have a footnote for it. In the back they have Mara Makaimas. I'm just looking if they have Samach Aleph Gimel. Okay, I'm not sure. Rakshitzar le mekayme u'shayde shenimshech acher havle hazman u'bechoshech shmo yechusa. Sounds like, if interesting is that his name is covered by darkness. U'makir erkei v'shiflusai. He recognizes his value and he recognizes his humbleness. V'nasa nivze be'ein of nimas. And he becomes disgusted with his lifestyle or with his actions, because he realizes that his behavior could be defined as, could be called ram and nuvel, which means it's toxic, it's negative, it's disgraceful. So it's not pshat. We're speaking before about tshuva, kadma la'olam, somebody who recognizes the truth of Ein Sof and wants to connect to it. He doesn't want to invest everything in a moment, which is bin haya, it's here, it's not here, but it wants to connect to the truth. He says, even somebody it's not that. It's just that he finds no place in his time and his place. He's distressed by it. There's something bothering him. Yeah, dissatisfied.
Depression, maybe. No,
yeah.
He puts it.
Im kol zeh, however, there's probably many different manifestations. Im kol zeh me'achar shemayis.
Is it the memes?
Yeah, so sometimes you see the MS and sometimes you see the sheker. One of the two. Sometimes you see the MS and sometimes you don't see the MS. You're not capable. You just see the sheker. Does shouldn't it?
He's in the worst place.
Huh?
He doesn't even see places where he wants to go.
Yeah. There's something discontent. There's a discontent. Im kol zeh me'achar shemoyes b'chayev chayei hazman. Nonetheless, the fact that there is a certain rejection of chayev, of his life, of chayei hazman, the life in the time, nimshachalav me'elavu memele chesed Hashem. So this itself is powerful to draw forth the grace of God. Liyos boy gilui ein sof baruch hu shalifnei ha'ishtalshlus of ma'alam hazman, to experience a revelation of the Ein Sof that is beyond ishtalshlus and beyond time. Ki gadol koyach ha'chesed elyon, because the koyach of the chesed elyon, of divine chesed, is great. Shemispashet le'ein ketz v'tachlis. There's no end to it. In other words, there's no place or person it doesn't reach. In the metaphor, the Gemara compares to water, that water will travel from the highest place, and the water doesn't say, no, this is too low. It will go to the lowest place. And Mayim is always a metaphor, parable, for the spiritual energy of Chesed. So he said, Gadol Kayach HaChesed, it's Mayim. Mayim goes to the lowest places. Va'adirab, it's much deeper than this. The most gathering of the water will be in the lowest place, not in the highest. The highest place it may pass, but ultimately the water will look to concentrate in the lowest possible crevice or pool or cavity or cistern, whatever it is. And over there it's going to be miskabet. So where are you going to see the most water? You're going to see the most water b'makam namuch.
That what you said yesterday?
He doesn't perceive it.
Huh?
How does he experience the chesed if he doesn't perceive the truth?
So he's saying that itself, he's going to say, Kach ha-chesed alien, nimshach u'mispasha dafke b'makam namuch. The metaphor for this spiritually is that the chesed of above comes and it's expressed and it's extended and expands precisely. It not only goes also to the lowest place, it goes precisely the lowest place. The Hainu.
My question was, how's it?
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah.
process.
it's part of it. Yeah.
Takes all the
It's
world.
one way of it. Yeah.
But this is not true his oris milaela because he still
Right.
is discontent first.
Yes. Yeah. The Hainu b'misha, what does it mean? Mispasha dafke b'makam namuch. The Hainu b'misha who shuffles, somebody who feels humility, v'nivza be'enav nimas, and becomes what he's involved in. It becomes embarrassing. It becomes disgusting. So that itself, so the person thinks he's the most detached place. He's the most makam namuch. He's the lowest place. He says, no, that's the place where the mayim reaches. That creates the openness for l'maylam and hazman, for that which is truth. He feels so disconnected. It's not that there's a yearning, an appreciation of Ein Sof that's l'maylam and hazman. It's just, there's a tremendous discontent with the place and the time I'm in. I don't know where I want to be, but I know that this I don't like. And it frustrates him. It's nivze be'enav. It's disgusting in my eyes. He says, so it looks like there's no mayim can come there. He says, no, mayim goes dafke l'makam namuch. It goes precisely into that person's space.
Yosef was thrown into the pit. There was no water.
Mayim ein by.
So how did he feel?
Huh? Well-
We're saying here that the water's there.
Well, we spoke Tisha B'Av that Yosef had water. He had the tears of his father. Haloich yelech uvachai. He had the tears of his father, so he had water. It's a different type of water. Hazorim bedima berina iktzayru, right? There was this planting with tears, so he also had water. You have to have water, yeah. Without water, there's no growth. The seed shrivels up. V'gam liyos b'chinas chesed v'rachamim einei neufel el al mishu tzorich l'chesed v'rachmanos. Furthermore, it's not just the mayim, it also goes to the lowest place and precisely the lowest place. But the truth is kindness and compassion applies to somebody who needs kindness and compassion. If you don't need kindness and compassion, then you don't need the terms chesed and rachmanos. Or Kamocha, an example, quite an interesting metaphor. Mishu tofes bebeis hasurim. Somebody is imprisoned, he's incarcerated. He can't go from door to door and ask people to help him. He can't go for people to meals. He's in prison. So in people's hearts, there's aroused a kindness and a compassion. You don't say, well, wait till you come to my house and then I'll give you a meal. No. You go to the prison. Why? Because he's completely stuck. He can't leave prison. A person can't leave prison. That's what prison means. Asur, Beis Asurim is a place where you're tied. Asur means tied, right? You can't leave. So there's the rachmanas in the hearts of a person to go bring it to him. He says, Kachu l'mayla. The same is true. The way it's down here, it's because it's a reflection of above. B'chesed elyon, shenimshach me'elav u'memela. Al ha'adam shetzar loy ma'oid b'mashenitfes b'maiser haguv v'nefesh ha'bahamas at sheyechpetz v'yishtoikek ma'oid le'espashet melevushim tzoyim chuli v'chayav einam chayim be'enav u'lezoyis ma'oid erachem m'rab melmayla at shenimshach alav chayim v'chesed melmayla mi'moker ha'chayim v'chaye ha'chayim ein soif baruch u'mamish. The Herz Shalom. Was tut sich? So the same is Shula, that even though the person is not coming out of prison, he doesn't even know that there's a reality out of prison. It's not what we spoke before yesterday about the tshuva. We speaks about the klois hanefesh, the kedeliba, that he's moyes b'chaye hazman. He doesn't want the rega. That's already a deep derher. That's already a very profound recognition. It's not there. What he knows is that this is something wrong. It's mias for me. I don't like it. Person sometimes has that feeling. They don't know what. They just don't know that they know this is not the place. This is distressful. This is a prison. I'm stuck. I'm not in a good place. I may not even understand why. I may not even know my destination. I just know here I have to get out of. So l'cha'ira, the person is in a makom namuch. He says, don't think the water doesn't get there. Fakert, most of the water goes there. Because that creates an openness, a lack of ego, a lack of arrogance, a lack of complacency and smugness. He says, and further, that's what chesed and rachamim is. You say kindness and compassion there's a need for kindness and compassion. The person who's in prison, yes, he needs the kindness and the compassion. That's what it's for. If he could come, so then you don't need already so much chesed and rachamim. He could come and get it for himself. He can't come and get it for himself. He's stuck. That's what being stuck means. So you don't take it personal and you say, oh, when you get out of your stuckness, then I'll help you. I can't help myself. That's where I am. So what does it mean to be a person with chesed and rachamim? To realize that, to discover that, and to be able to say, let me go and reach out, to be able to help the person ultimately get out. In other words, you have to know when kindness can also be misplaced. And rachamim can be misplaced. When somebody could walk and you say, let me carry you, then I'm displacing it. But when somebody can't walk, when somebody's tied down, when somebody is locked up, that's where chesed and rachamim come in. So he says the same is true with the chesed elyon, that when a person feels that distress, that he's in the prison of his animal soul and he wants to get out of the levush mitzoyim, of the dirty, unclean garments, and he says, chayav einam chayim be'einav. He doesn't feel that his life is a life. It's not a worthwhile life. There's something off about it. So he says that itself is ma'orer rachem el malmayla, to receive a flow of real chayim from Ein Sof, which mamash comes from even the place that's beyond time. And it's nimshach me'elav mamela, meaning he does not connect it to that place. It comes down. V'zehu, this is the pshat in the pasuk. Mi Keil Kamocha. Pasuk in Micha that he started the Maimon, Mi Keil Kamocha noisei avoin v'ovid al pesha. Shebchinis Keil ubchinis chesed. Keil represents chesed. He brought it, the pasuk says in Tehillim, chesed Keil kol hayom. So Keil represents chesed. But here we say Mi Keil Kamocha. What's pshat Mi Keil Kamocha? Ve'eina chesed sheyiyeh kechesed elyon hamisparshet le'ein ketz v'tachlis. And there's no chesed that will be like the chesed of Hashem, which comes infinitely. Me'roim ha'mailas, from the highest place, me'orein sof baruch hu mamash, from the light of infinity, ad madregas atachtoinis sheme'asiyah hagashmas, until the lowest levels in the physical world of action, lahachiyos ruach shvalim asher asunim b'maiser haguf hagashmi, to give life, spiritual life, to ruach shvalim, to the spirit of the humble people who feel imprisoned in the prison of their material guf, material body. And this is the Mi Keil Kamocha. Where's the chesed? Like your chesed? What's the Mi Keil Kamocha? That the chesed is mispashet. He said at the beginning of the Maimer, it extends infinitely from Ein Sof to the lowest place, like Mayim, which is Yered Makam Gavaya Makam Namach.
Is it possible that when it speaks here about the person who feels humble, that you can have somebody who is in the exact same situation, but is not humble, then it doesn't work?
No, it's not the same. That's what he's saying. There's just a certain element of nivze ve'enav, that he's moyes, he's tsarla, he feels, if he doesn't think he's in prison, he doesn't cry out. He feels that he's in prison. I can't come to you. So then you'll come to me, because you have chesed, you have rachem. I say, I can't go. I don't know where to go. This is where I am. I'm stuck. So what happens now? So he says, then you're not stuck. The moment I recognize that I'm stuck, so then I'm not stuck. even though at such a moment you feel completely stuck. That's the issue. He says, yes, that's the point. You feel stuck, so you're already not stuck. Because you searched, there's a yearning, there's a frustration. You could try this out in life. This is a real thing. Whenever you're stuck, you'll see this is true. This is true. Me'ayin, yeah. There's a long brackets here, but we'll go after the brackets. Daled. Ach keitzad yumshach v'yizgala chesed elyon me'erin seif baruch hu mamash b'bal tshuva. Shayir rachik me'erin seif betachlis. But how in the world does this communication, does this fusion happen? From Eidin Seif Mamish, and he keeps on saying Mamish because we're talking about Eidin Seif that's beyond Zman, beyond the Shtalshlus. In the Baal Tshuva, who apparently was so far to the extreme, how does this fusion happen? Alzeh Amar Anovi. On this, the prophet Micha continues, Keil Kamocha Noisei Oven Va'ovid Al Pesha. You're Noisei Oven and you're Ovid Al Pesha, which is going to explain what those words mean. Obiyadi, and the explanation is the Hine Begamara Isa Plukta. In Gemara, there's a fascinating argument. Mar Omar Noisei Oven or Mar Omar Koivish Oven. One says Noisei Oven and one says Koivish Oven. In Gemara, Masechta Rosh Hashanah, Daf Yud Zayin Amar Aleph, there's a very fascinating argument. At first glance, it's a very difficult argument to understand. The Gemara discusses there, it says one of the Yud Gimel Midas Arachamim is, we say Hashem Keil Racham V'chanan Erech Hapayim V'rav Chesed. V'rav Chesed means that there is an abundance of Chesed, like V'rav Chesed, he's one of great Chesed. So the Gemara says the Rav Chesed is his mate klape Chesed, that he tries to push everything towards Chesed, towards kindness. So there's two opinions. One is the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer, one is the opinion of Rabbi Yossi Reb Chanina. One says, how does he do it? Koivish oven. And the other one says, Noisei oven. And each one has a pasuk. We say in Micha, we say it by Tashlich, right? Keil Kamocha, Noisei oven va'ovid al pasha, l'sheres nachalosei, l'hechzik la'adapai, Yoshev yirachamenu, Yichboish avoinesenu. Many people say, those who say in the Karbonas before davening, the Rebbeinu Shalom after the Akedah, in many Nuschayas, so this pasuk is also brought every day. Every morning when there's Tachram. Yichboish avoinesenu, v'sashlech v'nsilas yom kol chatoisam. That's the opinion who says Hashem's style is he's koivish avoin, koivish, yichboish avoinesenu, koivish. We'll explain what that means in a moment. The other one says, no, that's not what he does. He does noisei oven. We say in the Yidgim with the Serachim, Keil Erech Hapayim V'rav Chesed is noisei chesed la'alofim, noisei oven. So it's two different expressions in the Tanakh. In Parshas Kisisa, the expression is noisei oven. In Micha, the expression is koivish oven, yichbosh oven aseinu. And this is an argument in the Gemara of what Hashem does. To Navi here says, in Micha both, because it says Keil Kamocha, Noisei oven v'ovid al pesha. Later he says Yichbosh avoinesenu. In Gemara it's a machlokes which one he does. The way the Mefarshim explain this, Rabbi Chanan and other Rishonim is, and this is where it becomes al pi pshat, it becomes very, very strange because it seems like just an argument about semantics. The first opinion says koivish. Koivish means you conquer, but here it means you suppress. You squeeze on it. Right, like koivish is you squeeze it. So basically here it means you suppress it, koivish oven. Subdue it. Noisei oven means, Kvisha, yeah. There's a Mishnah in Mekvayis, many of those who have the minig in Ashnas Avelis to say it, there's a Mishnah at the end, it says over there that Mikvah Shemem of Merudoden, Koivish afilu chavile eitzim afilu chavile konim k'dei sheyispucha amayim v'yorid v'toivel. So koivish means you push down. You push down. If the mikvah is too shallow, so the Mishnah says in Mikvayis at the end of where is it, chapter 7, that it's meim of meridadin. So what you need is the water to be able to be elevated, so you should be able to fit your body in, or whatever you have to put in this. He says, you could bring in bundles of lumber or reeds and koivish, you press it down in the water, the water should be bloated. It should be elevated in one spot, then you can go down the type. So one opinion says kovish oven. Basically, it's like Hashem steps on the sin and he suppresses it, he subdues it, and b'meila you're good. And the other one says no, noisei oven. He lifts up the sin. What's when he lifts up the sin? There's a scale. And the question is, which side is going to win? The sins or the mitzvahs? So maybe that the sins are going to go down. So what does he do? Noisei oven. He picks up the scale of the sins. So Meildov, the mitzvahs go down and they outweigh the sins. That's noisei oven. So kovish,
Makes it lighter.
he makes the sins lighter. He lifts up the scale. The sins may be heavy, so they may be. This is what Rashi says in the Masechta Rosh Hashanah. So they may be equal to the mitzvahs, or maybe even heavier. In other words, they have more weight. The way a scale works. So he goes like this. He, so to speak, he cheats. He takes his hand. Nobody sees. Noisei oven. He lifts it up, and the mitzvahs. The mitzvahs go down. That's one opinion. Another, that's called noisei oven. He picks it up. Noisei means to pick up, like hisisa, right? Like a masa, you pick it up. Kovish oven is the opposite. Kovish oven means he doesn't pick up the sins. He takes the sins and he throws them down. He, so to speak, steps on them, suppresses them, subdues them, and that's how they disappear. They're yichbash oven asenu. That's like tashlich. You throw it into the ocean. It's not here anymore. Where'd you put it? You threw it into the ocean. You cast it down and it disappears. From Rashi, it's mashma that kovish oven is also with the scale. That kovish oven means the other way. That Hashem presses down the mitzvahs. Kovish oven is he presses down the mitzvahs. So the mitzvahs become heavier. But the lashon kovish oven is mashma that the oven is kovish. Rabbi Chananel says kovish oven means that the avonos he suppresses, and noisei oven means he picks up the scale of the avonos. At first glance, when you see such a Gemara, what are they arguing about? What are they arguing about? If he takes his foot and he steps on the sins, or he takes his hands and he picks up the scale. It's the same thing. The biggest pella is in Rashi. Rashi, it's mamash the same thing. What's the difference if I push this side down or I pick this side up? It's the same result. If you have a scale, you have two things, and I want one side to be heavier. So what's the difference if I push this up so I don't let it go down, or I push the other way down? Like, do we have to argue about everything? Like, that's what they're arguing about. Noisei oven or kovish oven. He picks up the scale, he pushes down the scale. It seems like mamash semantics. And to say that some of our greatest sages, this is what they argued about. They wanted to understand if Hashem does this or Hashem does this. What's the difference? Is this an argument in theme? It's an argument in language. Zok the Balatanya, this is a very, very deep argument. It's not. It could seem superficial and even a little strange, but it's extremely profound. The truth is, he says, Shneim emes. Both are saying a nekuda of truth, but they're talking about two completely different ideas. And this is his analysis of the Gemara. Kihine, says it's a half of a fellow-dick explanation, the difference of kovish oven and noisei oven. Kihine maisa haveda. Asher yasa ha'adam lachtei ba'achas mikol ha'mitzvahs lo yisasei bittul mitzvahs esei hu ra gomor. The action of an aveda that a person does, lachtei, to sin, in any of the mitzvahs lo yisasei. There's 365 mitzvahs lo yisasei. Any of them a person does, which is a chet, or bittul mitzvahs esei. Another type of sin is he doesn't do something, whether it's any of the 365 mitzvahs, but it's a bittul, it's the not doing of a mitzvah sasei ra gomer. That action of sin or transgression or lack of it is ra gomer. It's immoral, it's wrong, it's absolutely ra, negative. That's one side of it. But there's another side of it. And he says ra gomer, in other words, it's not negotiable. It's ra gomer, it's real ra. It's not good, it's bad. Absolute. And he says that he has to say this because of the intro to the next piece. But the inner drive that's craving that particular thing, or that inner drive that's causing your heart to be mevatl a mitzvah saseh, not to do a mitzvah. That drive, that inner core, that which is behind the action. Even though this koyach is manifested, meaning it's fueling something that's wrong, absolutely wrong. This inner drive behind it, the passion behind it itself, is not a chet, meaning because the koyach hamisava, the power of craving, is identical if it comes to something permissible or comes to something forbidden. And the same is true, the power that takes his heart away from doing something. It's a power that's the same koyach hamamshich liba if it would be to take him away from something positive or to take him away from something negative. Ela shehite koyach hamisava kol kach at shenislabish b'maisa haveda. Oy shehite es koyach hamamshich halev at shenimshich losim b'mitzvahs esse. In this case, the person's koyach hamisava he took to the point that it's manifested, it's enclosed, it's fueling on aveda. Or he took the koyach to take the power that takes away his heart from a mitzvah's essay. But the koyach hamisava itself, the drive behind it, hareyesh b'koyach zeh lafoich levavei min hakotza lakotza me'avero lavas Hashem. In this koyach itself, he has the ability to transform it from one extreme to another extreme, from a toxic love to the love of God. That's the meaning of the pasuk v'haftas Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha. So the Mishnah says in Maseches Brachas, b'chol levavcha, your whole heart, not half your heart, means b'shnei yitzarecha shegam ha'yitzahara yoshev lavas Hashem. How can it be b'shnei yitzarecha with both yitzers, even the yitzahara? Because you have to recognize the koyach hamisava, the koyach that is behind the craving, and that's yoshev lavas Hashem. That could go back, that could be transformed to avas Hashem. What does this mean? Shehita, he gravitated, he reclined, hita, he moved, directed. Shehita, huh? Hita saner, yeah, by Shabbos, yeah. Hatoya saner, yeah. He steered, he harnessed the koyach hamasava. It's a question of harnessing. That's the word. It's not a question. So there's two elements. When you're looking at the action that somebody did, the action is a wrong action. But now you have to ask yourself one step deeper. You have to go one step deeper. What is behind it? Even more than intent. What is behind it? What is behind it on every level, which goes very deep on a conscious level and even on a subconscious level. But even on a conscious level, there's the koyach hamisava. There's the power of the craving. There is what I want in terms of the actual manifestation of the taiva. But then there is what I really want, and I believe that this is going to satisfy me with.
Did you define that as a nefesh bahamias in a prior shir, that you have to control it and not let it control you? Is that the same as koyach?
Yes, yeah. I mean, you could say it that way. The koyach hamasav is basically the koyach, the energy that is behind the taiva, that is inside the taiva. So you have the koyach right now dressed up in this taiva. This is how it's being manifested. But if you could strip away the taiva from the koyach is not evil. The koyach is looking for something. It has some yearning. It has a void. It's looking for something. It became harnessed and expressed through this aveira, or through the lack of doing this mitzvah. Somehow not doing this mitzvah is doing something for me. Whatever it is. Or doing this Aveda is doing something for me. So from the perspective of the Maisa itself, as he says, it's Ragomor, it's bad. The perspective of Koyach HaMesava, the Koyach HaMesava got dressed up in bad. It got harnessed into negativity. But that was a harness. That was where it was directed. That is how it's being utilized, where it's being transported. The Koyach HaMesava itself is not Ra. On the contrary, the same koyach hamisava could be flipped around and can become a tremendous drive for positivity and a tremendous drive for goodness. So why does it come out negative? New answer. That we're not arguing.
Flipping it before.
He said it before. He said the Koyach Nov. He said the Meises Ragomer. We're talking the Koyach HaMasava. Let's give a mashal. It'll be a little clearer. I mean, this a mashal, and this is true about every single action. So any aveda you look at, you could see this. The mashal is the nimshal. You have this constantly in a person's life. And you have it even in the most extreme situations, and certainly not extreme. And you always have these situations.
You're saying it's the machshava zoros b'shas hatzvila?
Huh?
It's the same as the machshava.
Yeah, it's all it's connected to that. It's connected to that. It could be connected. Yeah, it's all the same nekuda. He doesn't mean that the koyach is equal.
Equal in strength.
That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about the same koyach hamisava that you're using for isur is the same koyach hamisava that would be used for heta.
The void that needs to be filled.
Yeah. There's a famous line. We spoke about it a few days ago by an event that. But I don't want to. It's true also in extreme situations, but it's true also in not extreme situations. That addiction is not the problem. Addiction is the solution. It's very easy to point fingers and say that's the problem, but then you're not going to fix the problem because that's not the problem, that's the solution. You understand? The alcohol is not the problem, the alcohol is the solution. Halavai, the alcohol was the problem. Then it would be pretty simple. The alcohol is the crazy, dysfunctional, absurd, immoral, and toxic solution for a problem. It's a wrong solution. It's a bad solution. It works temporarily. It works if that called. I just hope that your scientific inventions don't work as well. They work a little better.
But in Russia it works.
A bissel vodka, yeah? You put into the machine a bissel vodka and say, okay. Russische Chassidim. Nežer Ritzi chlapci, što je s nami budjet, mi pojedem na kačanka, ja? Bis de krečme, darf man euch a bissel maschka, ja? Yeah. So the solution may be short term and may be disastrous because it fries your brain, it takes you out of reality, it brings you nowhere, it doesn't help you. But you have to identify the koyach hamisava. I'm not looking for alcohol. I'm looking for love. Looking for love is a bad thing. A guy, I met a guy, his marriage fell apart and his business fell apart all the same time. Could be they were dependent on each other. Like one guy said, he got divorced because of religion. Somebody said, what do you mean? You're an atheist and your wife is an atheist. He said, yeah, but she worships money and I don't got it. You know what I mean? So it was religion. So I don't know if the two were dependent or they just happened to be together, whatever. Yeah. So now a person is in a lot of pain. They don't have a job and they don't have a marriage, yeah, and they lost. It's tremendous pain. What do you do with that pain? The person is desperately looking for something to hold on. You know, a shipwreck, the Titanic goes down, Rahman al-Islam, in a person's life. You're looking for anything. You're looking for a straw to hold on to. You're looking for a tube. You're looking for a lifeboat, right? Now, there's different options in life. There are lifeboats that you can hold on to, but they're not easy to find, and you have to work on them. But there's a lifeboat that's available right there. It's called addiction. Whatever that is. This one, it's a computer. And this one, it's another. It can even be addictions that don't look so destructive, but it's an addiction. What does it mean it's an addiction? It's not taking you to the place you want to be. Because you're not identifying the koyach hamisava. You're ignoring the koyach hamisava. You're suppressing the koyach hamisava. You're distracting yourself from what you're looking for. That's the difference. What's the difference between a healthy, productive life and an unhealthy, destructive life? The pain is the same. The search is the same. But am I actually doing things to promote that search, to find love? I need love. I need connection. I need hope. But that's not easy. That if I can identify that, that's the problem. The addiction, that's the solution. That's not the problem. You get what I'm saying? This is true about everything a person does. The Baal HaTanya says there's no Aveda in the world that doesn't have a Koyach HaMesava. Epezuchsta, you're looking for something. You may know it, you may not know it. You may be so much in denial that you're not ready to know it. You harnessed it through this action. Somehow you feel, yeah? He speaks about bittul mitzvah sesa. If I don't do this, I'll be better off, I'll be happier. How many people leave go of Yiddishkeit because it's causing them too many problems? I don't need it. If I go away from this, if I get rid of it, I'll be a happier person. It's filling a void. It's filling some koyach hamesava. It's filling a void. It's filling some type of yearning I have, some need for some attachment, some connection. Koyach hamesava means the internal, the internal makeup of what this person is craving, what this person is yearning for, what this person is desiring for. That's what you have to look at. Yeah, the neshama of it. So we have a very interesting paradox. I could look at somebody doing something terrible, and I could see two things. If I look at it with simple glasses, what do I see? I just see Ra. That's what I see. If I put on a little deeper glasses, what do I see? The same act, and the act is not good. What do I see? I see somebody starving for a hug. I see somebody starving for love. I see somebody starving for validation. I see somebody starving for some healing, for some hope, for some attachment. That's not a bad thing. That's a very beautiful thing. Sadly, he or she does not know how to feed that, how to satisfy it, how to promote it, how to get that, only through this way. That's what he says. Hita. He took the koyach hamesava and he directed it into this. And it's usually easier this way because it's fast, it's instant, it doesn't require vulnerability, it's a good distraction. It's a quick fix. It's sometimes cheap. It's not going to end up cheap, but it's a quick fix, right? The microwave generation, we like things hot and fast. Quick fix, yeah. And then tomorrow it breaks, so you fix it again. But the problem is, because your distraction was only a distraction, it wasn't a real solution, so it's never going to be enough. Because that's not what you're looking for. You say you're looking for that. That's not what you're looking for. If that's not what you're looking for, it's going to disappoint you. So what are you going to do tomorrow? You'll take a little more. Because you tell yourself, oh, yesterday I didn't have enough. The problem is the next day, it's still not going to satisfy you because you were never looking for that. So you're going to do a little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. And then at some point you stop recognizing yourself. You don't even know who you are. You're just like a robot. The Reoriented. The Muzdi Yoikner Shal Yaakov Ave. Very deep. He's going to speak about that now. The Mezritcher Maggid says this. The Reoriented brings. Potiphar was chasing him. I kept on saying to him, come with me. And he saw the Muzdi Yoikner Shal Yaakov Ave. I'm really looking for Tiferes. I'm really looking for beauty. So what do I have to go to Potiphar's wife? Yaakov is the source of Tiferes. He saw the image of Yaakov. It wasn't Stam he saw the image of Yaakov. The image of Yaakov allowed him to identify what he was really looking for and go there. Now, in the midst of the addiction, it's very hard to do this because you're trapped. You're in Beis Asura. So I'm trapped. Sometimes I need, because I don't have das at the moment. When you're trapped, you're trapped. You're just in a trap. But when the person could go back a little bit and look and reflect on it, this is the key for all real growth. Rabbi Isaac, verstehst? Verstehst git? This is what every teenager has to understand. This is it. This is it.
If he's looking for it, he knows he needs it, but he's not getting it.
He's not getting it at all, because he wasn't looking for that. Yeah. The koyach hamesava is not looking for the Aveda. That's his point. The koyach hamesava is harnessed, being used for the Aveda. It's not looking for the Aveda. It's the same koyach hamesava could be the most powerful tool for growth, for productivity, for goodness, for godliness. That's pshat. How could you love God with the Yetzer Hara? Isn't it a Yetzer Hara? Depends how you understand the Yetzer Hara. If you're looking at the Yetzer Hara's actions, those actions got to go. but he's looking for something. There's something he's searching for. That can be revamped. That can be reoriented. If you just strip it from the outer levushim, you can reorient it into the greatest force for good. But you have to be able to identify that koyach hamisava.
So is there a difference between Yetzer Tov and Yetzer?
Ooh, good question. So he says, so what's the difference between Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara? It's an excellent question. And the answer is, the difference between them on one level is as absolute as it gets. And on another level, no difference at all. On one level, it's the greatest difference. There's a gulf. The abyss separates between them on one level. And on another level, there's no difference at all.
Both come from the Koch HaMasada.
Yeah. And both are very true. And one has to be very careful because there are those who love to romanticize Yetzer Haras. There were those people and individuals and streams based on these ideas. And the Yetzer Hara suddenly becomes just one big romantic... So you have to, that's why the Balatanya, that's why you see the emes of it. First he says, the mais is Ra Gomor. And I emphasized a few times, why did you say Ra Gomor? In other words, don't use this maimah to start playing games and saying, yes, alts gits, alts. There was a big Mekober, Rabbi Avram Abulefia. So he writes that Yud Kei Vavke, Yud Hei Vavke, he writes this, is Yetzer Hatoy v'Yetzer Hara. Yud Kei Vavke. You look at it and you don't understand it. If you don't understand it, okay, great. So every Yetzer Hara is Mamash Yud Kei Vavke. Fine. And it brings a person to undesirable places, and it's not true. The ikid is it's not true. It's not true. It uses fancy spiritual language, but it's not true. So the Balatanya is going to explain that this is the Pshat in Gemara, Noisei Oven and Koivish Oven. Does God step on the sin, or does he lift up the sin? Depends which part of the sin you're talking about. There's the part of the Aveda that you have to uplift. It's really uplift. You have to uplift it, noisei. And then there's the part that you have to step on. Verstehst? There's the koyach hamisava of it that you uplift. On the contrary, you have to embrace that. You have to look what it is. Don't get rid of that. Don't throw that away. Look at it. You want to know what it is. Identify it. Because that will bring you to great places. As he says, that could become Avos Hashem. Why? Because you'll ultimately find that the only solution to your problem is God. Truth, reality, Ein Sof, that's the solution. Your computers, your alcohols, your games are not going to be solutions. Because they're not real, they're not solid, they're called Avodah Zaras. What does Avodah Zarah mean? Avodah Zarah basically, why is Yiddishkeit against Avodah Zarah? What do we have so against? Avodah Zarah basically means something that represents to you what you're looking for, but it's a fake. You're looking for a relationship with truth. You need love. You need attachment. You need to feel the meaning of your life, the value of your life. Right? Where are you going to get that? Kos Bronfen? Ich meine, nicht die russische Chassidim, was sagen L'chaim. Ich meine, an addiction. Where are you going to find that? Where are you going to find it? On certain websites you're going to find it. I'm not talking about the yeshiva.net. Over there maybe you'll find. You learn on Likkutei, you'll find. Where are you going to find? Where are you going to find it? In a piece of cake you'll find it.
Saying the real opium is...
Yeah. Karl Marx said religion is the opium for the masses, right? So obviously he meant it in a derogatory way. But the point has to be understood. What am I looking for? And religion could, by the way, be also an addiction. We all know that. Right? You could use God also as an addiction. Person once told me that he became a Baal Tshuva because he's OCD, and he realized the best lifestyle for OCD is a halachic lifestyle. Rachmanis auf seine Kinder. Verstehst? The whole Maimon is that Ein Sof is not time, it's L'mayla min hazman. The Chiddush is Dira b'tachtonim to bring it into Zman. The moment you start worshipping the clock, you're not in touch with reality. It's important to be a Masudar. Zman is Zman. Time is time. But time can also be everything can be an Avodah Zarah. To say it a little, even God could be an Avodah Zarah. Verstehst? Even God could be an Avodah Zarah. Ich an Avodah Zarah. It's your God that you create, and that becomes an Avodah Zarah. Addictions don't necessarily mean that which they call on the websites addictions. Addictions could be very deep things. So this person is angry at his wife. This person is angry at his children, right? He bursts out, he's hollering. It's not easy for the wife or the children, or if the wife is screaming at the husband. But the Rebbeinu Shalom, and this Maim is saying you have to look at two things. You have to look at the outburst. You also have to look at something else. This father is going through a lot. This poor man, he does not express himself. Nobody taught him. He's looking for something. He's looking. All anger is most anger is a cover-up. They call it in psychology a secondary emotion. Secondary emotion means you're not angry, you're in pain. Of course you're angry, but the anger is just, it's a lavush. Huh? It's a manifestation. You feel alone. Kol HaKoyos, yeah? The Rambam says, it's one of the sources of the Rambam in Zohar, because we don't have it in Gemara. Kol HaKoyos Keil Oved Avodah Zarah. Anger is like idolatry. Why? Who doesn't get angry? I mean, present company excluded. The rest are only concept shalom. We should ask a Bazil was tutzich in the business. People get angry. People get angry. What, you went and you schmatzich because you got angry? Yeah. The truth is, there's a very deep word. The Balatanya says, why do people get angry? The anger is telling me something. Anger is basically, if I could get in touch with the Koyach HaMesava, there's something that's freaking me out. There's something I feel abandoned. I feel alone. I feel betrayed. I feel detached. If you can go deeper, if you can't go deeper, you can't. But if you can go deeper, you'll see that the koyach behind the anger, behind the outburst, is a very innocent yearning. And if you would understand that Hashem is with you right now, then you wouldn't have to direct it in that way. You would be able to direct it towards that which you need to be fixed. There's something hurting you. You can address the hurt. You don't have to get angry. You understand? Anger is a cover-up for a koyach hamisava that's basically based on the fact that I feel very, very alone. And what's Avodah Zarah? Avodah Zarah means that you don't believe that Hashem is with you right now at every moment, giving you everything you need and giving you the ultimate power to be able to confront everything in life. There's nothing in your life you can't look at and look at the action and look at the Koyach HaMesava. What does it mean, a life of Dveikus, a life of Kedusha? It means that the Koyach HaMesava and your actions are working in sync with each other. Was lachst du? Karave lacha davar, ma, it's nicht.
Sometimes the Koyach HaMesava alone, so
See my day. I see my.
The Koyach HaMesava is not an Aveira, that's his point.
I see my daily routine.
The chitzonius of the Koyach HaMesava is an Aveira. The external Koyach HaMesava, the manifestation of it, even the craving, right? This guy's, all I need is to go to this and this place. But that's not the Koyach HaMesava, that's the levush of the Koyach HaMesava. You're talking about the feeling, the conscious desire. That, yeah, but that's also not the Koyach HaMesava.
Because if the Koyach HaMesava does the right thing, it's good.
If you'll go deeper, you will find that the Koyach HaMesava is not evil.
It's here to take you to the right place.
It's here to take you to the right place. That's what it's here for. But I don't hear the language. I don't know how to translate it. It's called lost in translation. You understand? The Koyach HaMesava has a language. It's a very subtle language. And if you don't hear it, or you hear the wrong messages, it's like static. You know static? The Koyach HaMesava is not... The Koyach HaMesava is really here to take you to good places.
So when you don't give in to the one that's it seems the right thing, you actually can hear.
When you don't give in to the external craving, you get to know what you really want, and you give in to who you really are. The more I give into the external craving, the more I'm betraying myself, the more I'm fighting myself, because I'm actually telling the Koyach HaMesava, I don't care about you. all I want to distract myself from you. So the Koyach HaMesava goes more and more into hiding. People think if I fulfill my taiva, ich gebe sich nach, I'm helping myself. I'm not helping myself. I'm actually betraying myself. Because what I'm telling my Koyach HaMesava is I couldn't care less who you are. All I want is you should shut your stupid mouth. How do I get you to shut your mouth? By feeding a distraction. I get distracted, so now you're quiet for 10 minutes. You're quiet, that's it. It's like your baby is crying, yeah? Just shut your mouth. You want a gadget? Take a gadget. You want a phone? Take a phone. You want a tablet? Take a tablet. You want a TV? Take a TV. It's frying your brain. Who cares? I just want you to shut your mouth. You understand? So same thing. The inner child is the Koyach HaMesava. It's the same thing. It's not different. But I don't want you. You're driving me crazy. You're distracting me. So what do I want you to do? I want you just to be quiet. How do I get you to be quiet? Whatever it is. How do I get my Koyach HaMesava to be quiet? Another chocolate donut. But it's not enough. We'll do another one. We'll do a third one. Huh? Some of us struggle with that too. There's different struggles in life. The food is also an addiction. You typhus? So it's not like, oh, you're doing the gistichnach, you're being, no, you're not allowing yourself to hear yourself. And every time you do it, you hear yourself less and less and less and less. By actually not running to that place, I get frustrated. I'm like, I need it. I'm not distracting myself. So you know what happens after a while? You start hearing the music. And that's very powerful. When you start hearing it, then you could start nurturing it. And then you build a relationship with it to the point that you become one. And the Koyach HaMesava and you're working together a whole time. This is called a life that's well-lived. Everything that we speak about, all Sifrei Musar and all that, you can hear it from a negative place. You can hear it also from a much deeper place. All discipline of halacha is not intended to crush people's cravings. People think Hashem wants everybody to be miserable. You want this? No. This? No, nothing. You're miserable? Baruch Hashem, now you'll get Olam Haba. It's a very distorted way of understanding Yiddishkeit. It's punkt farkert. What Alter Rebbe is teaching us here is fakert. I want to get in touch with the Koyach HaMesava. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want you to get distracted from who you are. I want you to get in touch with your real Koyach HaMesava. So there could be a holistic life. It's an opposite nekuda.
Is it okay to say that?
This corner understands? Toiv ma'oid malach hamavas yetzahara. Toiv ma'oid, the Medrash Rabbah.
Is it okay to say that until now, whatever I am in life was part of my Bechira? Bechira was until it happened, but once it happened, it was the divine plan. And now I have a chance to tune it again.
Well, the inyan of Bechira and Yediyah, this is the connection to Zman and Lamaylam and Azman. Really, in other words, real tshuva, we say tshuva transforms sins into mitzvahs. How? How can a sin become a mitzvah?
To recognize that it was the divine plan.
So the oimik of it is that since tshuva takes you to a place where Zman becomes condensed and crunched, and Avar, Hoiva, Asid are 1 point, yeah? So therefore the past is not the past. So just like if I was last week in Eretz Yisrael, I wasn't, but if I was last week in Eretz Yisrael, you were. You can go back there even though you left. Nobody says you can't go back to Israel, you left. I left and I can go back. That's how space works. I left this room and I can come back. Zman really is not very different. Time we think of, the time left, you could never come back. That's without tshuva. In Ein Sof, when you go to a higher world, and especially when you go to Ein Sof L'mayla ben Azman, Zman becomes like Makam. Just like I can go back and revisit Israel, I can revisit a past time because it's not past. It's very, very powerful.
It's all one thing. I'm still in Bechira mode.
That's what Shuvah Kadma La'olam means. Shuvah takes you to a place. That's the Nekuda of the Maimet. Shuvah takes you to a place that's Kadma La'olam, beyond the tyranny of time. What's the tyranny of time? Fafalin, gone. It's over, not done. The Gemara says, Ein mukdam ha'mu'ucha b'toyrim, b'sechta p'sachim. Davav. How do we know Ein mukdam ha'mu'ucha b'toyrim? So the Gemara says, there's no chronological order. How do you know? You know it from Pesach Sheni. Because Parshas Bamidbar speaks about Rosh Chodesh Iyar, when Hashem said to Moshe to count the Jews. Parshas Ba'aloischa speaks about Rosh Chodesh Nisan. So that means what's later is really earlier. Why is the source of Ein mukdam ha'mu'ucha b'toyrim Pesach Sheni? So I once heard from the Rabbi, he said, because that's what Pesach Sheni is. What's Pesach Sheni? Pesach Sheni is, we don't believe as fallen. Life is lost. Ein mukdam ha'mu'ucha b'Torah. There's no such a thing in Torah. This is the past. It's too late. That's it. We're gone. Ein mukdam ha'mu'ucha b'Torah. If Torah becomes l'mayla min hazman, there's ein mukdam ha'mu'ucha. What do you mean? It's Parshas Bamidbar, already holding Rosh Chodesh Iyar. And Parshas Ba'aloischa, you go back to Rosh Chodesh. How do you get back there? Ein mukdam ha'mu'ucha b'Torah is not just chronologically, it's not written in order. It's not, doesn't live in the world where order defines everything. So what does the Baal Tshuva do? He goes back, he redefines his sin retroactively as a mitzvah. How? Because when you lift up the Koyach HaMisava, Noisei Avoin, when you embrace the Koyach HaMisava, what do you realize? You realize that the motivation for your sin was what? It wasn't bad. What was the motivation? You were really looking for dveikus. You just didn't know how. You didn't know how to hear that. You couldn't hear that. Or maybe you heard it, but you didn't know how to do it. So you just went to this place. Whether it's an Aveda that you did, or it's a Bittul Mitzvah Sesseh, everything is a Koyach HaMisava. Not only action, also inaction. The Alter Rebbe here says it's not just a mitzvah slice, it's also bittul mitzvah sesseh. Even when I don't do something, I'm looking for something. There's two types of things people do. What they do and what they don't do. They also do that, right? The fact that I sit on my couch and do nothing is I'm also choosing. I'm also looking for something. That's why I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. Why? Because I'm looking for something. And in my perception, this is how I'm going to get it. So when you're noisei avoin, so then the past can become redefined. But for that, you need l'mayla min hazman.
And when you kovish?
Kovish is something else. We'll see tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem. There's two parts of the Aveda. The Koyach HaMisava is noisei. The Aveda itself, kovish, of mitretten of them.
That's the charata, and that's the tshuva that you're not going to do it again.
Yeah. The two work together.
Right.
That's what he says. Shneim emes. It's not pshat. Noisei, one Hashem goes like this, he goes like this. It's a game. No, there's two inyanim. There's the part of the Aveda that you have to lift up, that you have to embrace, you have to elevate. Don't get rid of it. It's a good thing. There's a part of the Aveda that you have to look at, take it, embrace it, lift it up, fakert. And when you'll elevate it, you'll see that it's not Ra, it's Toiv. It looked like Ra, but it's not Ra. But you have to be at Noisei. You have to put it under the divine microscope, and then you'll see it's not bad.
So it's Toiv because it brought you to tshuva.
No, because really what the person is looking for is not Ra.
Bad,
It's not Ra. The Ra is just a distraction. It's the way it was harnessed. It's the way it was implemented. You can look at it, it's constantly in everything. It's very hard to do, yeah. You see your child behaving in a certain way, right? We always judge the action. And it's important to look at the action. We're not disregarding the action. It's important to look at the action. But if you only look at the action, you're failing to see the person. What's behind it? What's behind it? He may himself not know. Sometimes he may know, but he may not know. I was in Eretz Yisrael once, so there was a big a religious therapist there. So he told me that a child came to see him, and this child was a brilliant head, but he made sure to fail every test in school. Every single test he failed, and his father was going crazy. So he met this boy, and he asked this boy, "Why do you fail every single test? He said, I'll tell you why. My father, you have to know him. He needs his computer to be perfect. He needs his car to be perfect. He needs his house to be perfect. And he needs his kids to be perfect. And I'm not one of his cars and computers. Verstehst? I'm not one of his cars and computers.
How does he get out?
No, so this guy said, this kid was saying something very deep. I'm not part of his experiments. He needs a perfect life. Everything should be, check. Should be a beautiful, artistic dining room. Here are my kids. Can come in and shul. Look at my nachas. Look at my job. Look at my. I'm not part of his. Reb Naftali Rabshitzer was once walking to the mikveh in the morning, and there was a chassan in the middle of Sheva Brachas walking with his whole entourage. Naftali Rabshitzer was a very short man and a frail man. And he would walk fast, and there was this chassan walking with his, royal garments, and the mechotanim, and the families, and everybody's walking. So Naftali Rabshitzer runs over, he was on the way to the mikveh, he runs over, he says to the chassan, Ich belang nicht zu dir, and he runs away. Ich nicht. I don't belong to you. The boy says, I'm not part of your thing. Now, you look at this boy, he'll just say, he wants to do bad, He said, Ich nicht, yeah? Ich nicht, very good. Yeah.
So how does he get out if his father doesn't recognize him?
Huh?
How does he get out of his prison?
Well, I just want to correct what Rabbi Yaakov just said. Rabbi Jacobson ran over and said, I not, Ich nicht. And I think they ran after him to understand what he meant. And he said, you're walking as though the whole world belongs to you. I just wanted to say that I don't belong to you. Lashem Aratzim Laya, right? I don't belong. Me and God don't belong. In other words, the point is, if you look at this child, you could just dismiss his actions, just a troublemaker, he wants to do bad. Maybe he doesn't want to do bad. Maybe he wants to be treated with a little dignity. Maybe he just doesn't want to be seen as a pawn of his father's perfection. Well, isn't that something true? Right? Yeah, very beautiful. En yeled ra yesh yeled shera lo. Yeah, some people say in the world of education, there's no such a thing. Your child doesn't want to succeed. Who doesn't want to succeed? He doesn't feel he could succeed. But that's not so easy to see. What do you mean? Come on! What they tell you in Cheder? What they tell you in Cheder? But it's so true. Who you know somebody in life? You know anybody in this room who doesn't want to succeed? You wake up in the morning and say, I really want to have a miserable, unsuccessful life. I mean, I'm talking about I'm not talking about somebody who's affected by an illness. A regular person. I don't know what regular means anymore, but confused about that. Look, we're adults. So suddenly at some age every person wants to succeed. Sometimes I don't know how to succeed. If I don't know how to succeed, so what do? So I go to every Schwarzjahr, every distracting thing in the world to be able to not succeed, but at least to be able to distract myself from the pain of not succeeding. There's no child that doesn't want to succeed. There's no bach who doesn't want to succeed. There's no girl that doesn't want to succeed. But they have the tools to succeed? And your tools are not my tools. So you say, but what do you mean? There's a Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara says, don't succeed. So the Balatanya teaches us the Yetzer Hara is not so black and white. Da verstehen the Yetzer Hara. And that's pshat, transforming a Yetzer Hara. How do you transform your Yetzer Hara? What do you mean you transform? My Yetzer Hara wants to do bad things. What am I transforming? He says, no. Your Yetzer Hara says it wants to do bad things. It says, I know that. It says, but if you could take the right lens and go a little deeper, you'll see that v'haftas Hashem Elokecha could be b'chol avavcha b'shnei yitzarecha. The very koyach that's taking you to what seem like such bad places, and they are negative places, that very koyach, if you reorient it, can be seen completely in a different light.
Rabbi,
Yes.
Marshall, how does that boy
Yes.
recognize it's a problem? How does he do it if his father doesn't see it? How does he get out if his father doesn't realize that?
Well, hopefully, I don't know what happened at the end of the story. Hopefully the father could be made aware of it, and if he's open to it, there could be a lot of growth. If he's not open to it, so nobody is stuck. Nobody is stuck. We don't believe that people are stuck. we're not stuck. There's a difficulty, there's a challenge, but it's not stuck. Right? Huh?
You're not stuck anymore. The second you're stuck, you're not stuck anymore.
The moment we learned before, right? The moment you say I'm stuck, you're already not so stuck. Because people will come, what does he say? When somebody says I can't go anywhere, they'll bring him food. Right? So the moment you say I'm stuck, God says I'm here. No problem. If you're stuck, I'm here.
Father says he's not stuck.
That's the problem. It's a moededik word in the Maimer. The moment you say I'm stuck, I'm in prison, Hashem says no problem. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, tayameh, habayis. Problem is if you say you're not stuck. If you're not stuck, no, go get the food yourself. If you're stuck, it's schon gut. Das doch the ganze Wort. A Yid once came to the Kotzke Rebbe. He didn't have parnasa. He didn't have money. So he said, why don't I have money? I'm such a smart man. This Chaim Yankel is an idiot, and he's a lot of money. I'm much smarter than him. He says, was willst du? There's a pasuk in Keil is loyla chachamim lechem. Smart people don't got bread. You're smart, so you don't have bread. He says, Rebbe, I know the pasuk, but why taka? Why taka do brilliant people like me not have the lechem? He says, Parshas, the Rebbeinu Shalom tells chachamim like you, you're so smart, figure it out. Your friend doesn't think you're smart, so God says, I'll figure it out for you. Du bist doch a großer Chacham, yeah? So figure it out. So when you're stuck, it's schon gut. When you, it's a good one, huh? Huh?
It says that the more person in Chaim,
Shara b'tochen. Nishan, Lagamri, Ladoina. Like. Yeah. In other words, that's the vart. So when a person recognizes that I'm stuck, huh? In a good way. In a good way. Yeah. Today is Yud Ches Elul. Today is Chayel. It's the birthday of the Baal Shem Tov and the Balatanya.
Balatanya too.
Also, both of them. Yeah. It's Teufels Gewer. Look who came in Yishchos also. The wind blew him in as a powerful stuff. Powerful stuff.
Very difficult stuff. He starts actually, it gives you a framework. It says, Ragon. You know, any modern boy from a modern yeshiva said, who says what's bad? Who says what's wrong?
That's true. Yeah.
Right? Because the minute you out of basically framework of Tov V'Ra,
everything is relative. Everything is, what is it called? Moral relativism. You can't say anything is Ra. Abortion is not Ra, nothing is Ra.
why do I change my Korach from Savo?
Right.
Because,
You're right. You're right. That's this challenge in today's day, that in order to reorient my Koyach HaMasava, I have to acknowledge that there are destructive behaviors. And if I can't acknowledge that,
Who defines raw? They go to
Right.
eat shrimp and they say, "Look, what's raw?"
right, it's just shrimp. Right, right.
You know, people didn't know the shrimps in the Middle Ages. You know, that's why they wrote it. It's bad.
But I think even in this world, I think most people, if they're honest, they can acknowledge that at least certain patterns and behaviors
Destructive.
are not producing results that they themselves would agree
But again,
will lead to a meaningful
But
life.
that requires basically a consortium referendum to agree on what's
You're right.
bad. But it's
In the world of moral relativism, it's very hard to even discuss this because, I'm an addict to alcohol, so who says that's bad?
fantastic.
Right. Although I would say that there's quite a few things that many people could just acknowledge objectively that it's not leading them to functional places in terms of productivity, in terms of well-being, in terms of serenity. Like this,
But at the same time,
which is why there's such a self-help plethora of
you see, the minute you go into logical arguments,
Right.
you're going to be stuck there. Because they'll say, what you dominate? 30 minutes a day, you waste your time. 30 minutes could be used so productive to make you more successful. So much more.
Yeah, but I'm saying almost everybody acknowledges today the value of meditation and introspection and composure and calmness and connecting to something that's beyond the here and now and the stress of the computer and the office. I mean, these are things that are the experimentation of it. You see the results, the benefits. It's like arguing against eating healthy or arguing against exercise. You couldn't argue theoretically against anything. You can also say, what's the value of living longer? I mean, there's no value. Who decided it's mine? And you're right. You know, once you go into that place, Huh?
You can argue because
Post-modernity.
you can say it's good to prolong the life, but it's not good to prolong the death. Right? Which one?
Ein echanami. I know that we're not going to agree with everything, but I'm saying there's quite a lot of things that one can beneficially see. What's better for a marriage? What's better for a relationship? What's better for well-being? What's better for tranquility? When you're 14 and 15, you may just want to have fun, so you're not even thinking about these things. But usually when a person gets a little older and a little more objective, there are certain things that you could turn to a person's own feeling and say, is this really making you the person you want to be? Forget logic. Really?
Ultimately, they have to experience that. And actually, Koach HaMesavas will be able to, it's like a strings theory, be able to tune in to HaKadosh Baruch Hu ultimately, right? So that's and current generation being so emezik and exposed to many things, they say, Abon Shalom doesn't talk back to me. So he is not in that meditation state where he actually can tune to that melody. And until he's there, you cannot explain to him nothing that he can be possibly there.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah, you're quite right.
it has to be.
Rabbi Moses, verstehst?
Sets him up to get there. Yes, yeah.
Time Dvoida.
No, I'm saying, you're right.
You need Monsey.
On a
Huh?
level, he's never going to get there because he's in this different space.
In a world where there's no Tov and Ra, he's saying.
Hashem causes things in a person's life that he should.
It's either Tov or Ra, and you accept that framework, and then basically, okay, you choose between good and bad. So then you have basically a clear path. But you have to define that framework and accept that framework to begin with. So So you basically, you do it, and then you understand it. So the ultimate is you have to give him the tools to tune in. And how he can give him these tools? We don't.
That's where education is so important. No, also to know this Tov and this Ra. This Tov and this Ra.
But the education today is Islam.
Ich gehe an Shul, der Shul, das sage ich. Das ist Shul, ich kenne vom Telefon noch. Ich stehe oben mit dem Keil.
So darf ein Telefon, noch einmal der geben die Nummer.
Ich will gesucht einer von der Weiß in der Website, ich verzeiht einer von der Weiß der Team, in der Gnade, warum sie das alles, und sie aus Shul von Rabbi Jacobson, einer von der Weiß, der.
Okay, man kann Schuveton auf alle Avedes jetzt. Für was ist das ein Avedes da? Reb Chanin ist gar nicht kein, aber soll ich ein Aveda? Huh?
You see, it's moral relativism. They define it this way.
Ich frage noch, was ist Aveda? Likkutei Torah, was? Balatanya?
Menschen machen es auch noch weg.
I'm saying, was ist Aveda? Gar nicht. Das. Doch da auf dem Telefon.
So the Tumah Keil.
Ah, ja, okay. Doch, no, das kann Tage sein, ein Problem. Was ist nicht?
So it's filtered. So they saw that internet comes out into the world against HaKadosh Baruch Hu will. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is behind the iron curtain.
No, like everything, you need boundaries. And,
Iron curtain is down.
But you still need boundaries.
What he bound there is what character is that?
Yeah, you need red light and green light, you're right. Okay. So Habanai Chakaya Chamasava. They also need love. So Habanai Chakaya Chamasava.
This class is brought to you by theyeshiva.net. Please help us continue the classes. Make even a small contribution at www.theyeshiva.net/donate.